For the past 20 years or so, we've all been playing the same game. Get on the first page of Google. Well, guess what? That whole game is being completely torn up and rewritten by AI right now. Okay, let's dive into this because how we all find information is changing forever and a whole new set of rules is taking over. And really, it all boils down to one simple but super important question. When you ask something to ChatGPT or Perplexity, where does that neat, tidy little answer actually come from? Because the answer to this question? It literally changes everything for anyone, and I mean anyone who creates content online. So, for as long as we can remember, right, the goal was this on the left. Be one of these 10 blue links. You had 10 chances, 10 shots on goal to get a click. But now, look over on the right. This is the new reality. The new goal is to be the single direct answer. There's just no second place. You are either the source or you're basically invisible. And that, right there, is the search revolution we're talking about. We're shifting from a world where you're just trying to get a spot on a list to one where you have to become the one definitive answer. Let's be clear, the old playbook, it's toast. It's officially obsolete. So what's the new playbook? Well, it's called LEO, which stands for LLM Engine Optimization. And if you're wondering, LLM just stands for Large Language Model. That's the engine, the brains behind tools like ChatGPT. And look, this is not just some new fancy buzzword for SEO. It's a whole new ballgame, a completely new discipline focused on making your brand the most trusted, citable source for these AI engines. And that right there is the key. It's a huge mindset shift. See, the old world of SEO, a lot of it was about finding little tricks, right? Gaming the system. LEO is the exact opposite of that. It's all about building real, verifiable authority so that these AI systems naturally choose you as the most trustworthy source. Okay, so the big question is, how do you actually do that? Well, it all boils down to 3 core principles. And these principles are going to completely change how you think about creating content. Let's walk through each one. All right. Principle number 1. You have to become the source. And this means really a total shift in how you write. It's time to stop thinking like a blogger and start thinking, well, like an encyclopedia. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? AI engines, they're not looking for your personal stories or some fluffy marketing copy. They're on the hunt for cold, hard facts, reliable references. And this slide, wow, it just makes the concept so incredibly clear. Over on the left, you've got that promotional style we're all so used to seeing. It's kind of vague, a little salesy, but the style on the right, that's what the AI craves. It's specific, it's dated, it's sourced, it's all facts. And this is exactly why you have to start baking data right into your writing. A fuzzy statement like, oh, a lot of businesses struggle, that's totally useless to an AI. But a data-rich statement with a real number and a credible source like Bain & Company, that's pure gold. That's exactly what an AI needs to build its answer. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into our second principle. You have to answer the question and answer it directly. And this is so important to get. AI doesn't read your article like you or I would. Nope. It scans it and extracts bits and pieces that it thinks are the perfect answers. So what does that mean? It means your focus has got to shift, big time. Traditional SEO was all about keywords. LEO is all about questions. You have to put yourself in the user's shoes and think about every single question they might ask an AI about your topic. And then you build your content to answer those questions flawlessly. And this brings us to a really cool idea called passage-level optimization. The days of writing these long, meandering paragraphs are over. Every single paragraph now has to be like a self-contained nugget of information, something that can be pulled completely out of context and still make perfect sense on its own. So, what's the anatomy of a perfect AI-friendly paragraph? What does it look like? Well, it follows a really clear 4-step structure. First, you hit them with the direct answer. No fluff, just get straight to the point. Then, you back it up with data. After that, you add a little context to qualify the answer. And finally, if it makes sense, you give an actionable insight. And wow, this example just nails the difference. On the left, you've got this vague, wishy-washy paragraph that doesn't really help anyone. But the one on the right, that is a perfect, bite-sized, extractable answer. It gives you the numbers, it gives you context, it even cites the source and the year. And AI can just grab that whole thing and serve it up as the answer. All right, let's get to our third and final principle, and this is the one that really ties everything together. It's not just about what's on your website. You have to build trust with the AI at a brand level. You need to become a credible, citable entity across the whole internet. Because think about it. You could write the most beautifully optimized paragraphs on the planet. But if the AI doesn't trust your brand as an authority in your space, it might just ignore you and pick a more established source anyway. So Leo is really about both your content and your reputation. So you're probably asking, how in the world does an AI measure trust? Well, it's looking for signals all over the web. Things like, are other trustworthy sites mentioning your brand? What's the general feeling about your brand out there? Is it positive? And on a technical level, is your site a breeze for AI crawlers to get through and understand? It's really taking a 30,000-foot view of your brand's credibility. And at the end of the day, why does all this matter? Because becoming that go-to authority isn't just about getting clicks, it's about getting people to take action. Remember, a core idea of Leo is giving clear, data-backed answers that actually solve someone's problem. And when you apply that same direct problem-solving mindset to other parts of your business, like, say, automated emails, the results can be absolutely massive. I mean, we're talking about a potential 320% jump in revenue. The bottom line is this. When you become the trusted answer, you become the solution people actually choose. So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. It's a fundamental shift in your identity. To win in this new AI-powered world, you have to stop thinking like a marketer who's just trying to sell stuff. You have to start acting like the definitive, most trusted source of information in your entire industry, period. And that really leaves us with one final crucial question. As AI completely reshapes how we all get information, you've got to ask yourself, is the stuff you're creating going to be the answer, or is it just going to fade away and become part of the noise?